All right, I should have been recording before. All right, so what I did, just as a review here, in Sketchbook, I made a separate layer in Sketchbook, so you can see on the right-hand side of the screen there, I made one more layer on top of blank layer, and I just drew a very simple grid on there. And again, it's not a perfect grid, but it's enough to help me sort of break up that space, right? So I just cut it in half and in half both ways, then I cut those spaces in half. Then I put my margin around the outside edge of my paper here very carefully with my 4H pencil, right? 4H is our go-to pencil for drawing a very light line. Then after I got my border around the outside, I very carefully drew those lines here where I divided that space up. I divided this and then these in half so that my grid matches the grid that is there on my right. All right. And again, like I said, this is going to help me place my objects. So I can see that the behind of that one singer goes right here in this box down here. I can see the singer's head is up here in this box. I can see her hand comes all the way over here and crosses the line and comes up here. On this side, I can see that singer's head is here in this little area right here. And then their body sort of S-curves right here around this particular spot. I can see that guitar starts way up here past the second bumps here at the top and comes almost all the way over to the side here. All right, so I'm just going to start laying these shapes in here. And again, I'm going to use this guide, the grid as my guide here. All right, so that leg goes here. And again, I can fix this up a little bit. But I'm just sort of seeing how this all sort of plays out. All right, here's the elbow. All right, and again, I'm going to have to look at this with a critical eye once I'm done sort of getting the outlines together. But I'm just sort of figuring this out here. And her head comes all the way up here. There's a bun in her hair here. Comes up into this face here. That pinky a little smaller. There you go. Right, so I'm seeing maybe her head here is a little bit big. I'm going to bring this in a little bit. So the shoulder part of the body here is a little bit big. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. A handy dandy eraser, just like so. Right, so here I can see already I have this nice shape right here. Like that, and I can sort of make this form a little bit more feminine here. There we go. And again, I'm thinking about some of my superhero stuff that I learned, you know, where I'm not going to have to necessarily copy exactly what I did in my pencil drawing, but I'm just sort of laying out that part just like that. All right? That elbow is sort of tricky. It doesn't look like she's... And she's got a human form here. I don't want these lines to be too straight, like they'll look sort of weird if they're too straight. There we go. Perfect. All right, so that's my first shape in there. You can see that looks pretty good, right? So then over here, I'm going to see my second singer. Her head is over here somewhere, right? And again, I'm thinking about that gesture drawing, and I've got this sort of an S curve happening here, like that, right? So let's put this. The back of her is about in this box here. Curves up here. Meets the shoulder. And again, this arm just sort of comes out here and then terminates down here. Like this. All right, I go back and fix things a little bit here, and I'm just sort of trusting my lines here. I think this box is not quite right. I'm going to bring this hand in a little bit, like so. There we go. A crazy claw there. All right, and then we bring this head back this way. All right, and then this arm curves this way. Like this. go. Trying to get this head together here. Alright, so that's looking pretty good, right? So now I've got my two shapes in here. Again, maybe I'll make this a little thicker here, make that arm not so long. Yeah. And this hand is a little bit of a claw here I gotta fix at some point. There we go. And again, I'm really using that. I'm relying on this grid to sort of help me out here a little bit. Here's the microphone cable. All right, so now that I have those, and those are the hardest parts, and again, I don't know if I could really, I would have been able to place those very evenly unless I would have sort of gridded that out ahead of time. And I'm trying to start with a light line, and then I'm just adding a little bit more pencil as I go here. Let me bring up the back of that hand a little bit. There we go. All right, and then all right, now I'm going to put that guitar in the back here. So let's take a look at that. So that's going to go over her head here, and it comes down to under her wrist. So it's going to go like this, under here. It's going to go over this singer's head here, and it's going to come around. I'm going to change it a little bit. It's going to come in right in there. Like that. I'm going to put this part of the guitar here, under here. You know, some of the stuff, if you do want a ruler, you can use a ruler to measure some of this out. I am not going to use a ruler right now. I'm just going to sort of go for it here. Like that. I got that. I got this part here. Neck of the guitar here. The frets. Strings in there. Pickups. So all right, I should have time-lapsed this drawing here. I don't know, my lines are very straight anymore. I think they're starting to move downward. All right. Let's see where we're at here. So I got that, I got that. You see the keyboards in here. This is where maybe a template or something might be handy to draw. Like so. Go, and then piano keys. All right, there's the piano keys at the top. And then 3, 2, 3, space, and 2, space, 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Time to get 15 minutes. Here's space, and I got 1, 2, 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 2. Put some marks in here so I remember. This is the black keys in here. All right, so there you have it. If you guys can see up on the screen there, in here, if you guys at home can see. So that's basically it. Just sort of freehanding that drawing, using that grid to sort of help lay out those spaces. And then once I get to this place here, then I can look at, we'll look at step 2, which will be starting to define these lines a little bit, and then also starting to add a watercolor wash of some different details in that picture.